I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight and thank our couple in the back there we couldn't do it without you, so appreciate you guys. Nobody else in the house tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and start it up. It's a little after 6, and I'm going to convene this meeting. Consideration of the planning and zoning minutes from the meeting held on July 29th, 2024. I entertain a motion. Okay, I got a motion to approve. Thank you very much.
Waive the reading.
And we're going to waive the reading. Is that what you said, Tim?
Yeah, if that's where you heard it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I've got to fill this out. Next is public comment. There's nobody in the house, so we're going to move on from that. Now, I appreciate everybody going through these. I know there's not a lot in these ordinances as far as change goes, but I do think it's relatively good change, even though it might be one line or a word or two. But we do see this every day as we go through some of these minutes, and I'm working with the code official. There's times that he comes up to me and it looks like it's the recorder's role to sign off on something, or maybe it's even the mayor's position by ordinance that he should sign off on something that really is a responsibility of the code official, and that's what these things are. The mayor did speak to me, quite a while back, and was hoping that we would get through some of these and look at some of our ordinances and just make some minor adjustments if needed to adjust those, and we have done that. So if you look at the very first one is 505.03. I do apologize. That first page is going to have some chicken scratch on it, and that's kind of my notes. And she went ahead and copied that. And then if you turn that page over, you would see it corrected, and that would be the corrected version. So basically, I'll read these. In this animal hospital, there is a line there, and this is the only change that I want to make on it, if at all possible, but it's under 505.03, subsection B. Every veterinary surgeon or practitioner or any other person who examines, treats, or has knowledge of any animal having glanders, farcy, and I'm going to mess a lot of this up, I'm sure, hydrophobia, rabies, tuberculosis, or any other like communicable or dangerous disease shall within 24 hours thereafter notify the city health officer of such disease and shall furnish the following information relating thereto. As you are aware, we do not have a city health officer. Now, they may have back in the day when this was written, but we do not have one. So just to clear that up, I would like to say code official. I also put or Nicholas County Health Department. I mean, it could be either one of those two agencies, I would think. I'm open to discussion for this one, and I think I would like to just go one at a time as we were addressing. So any discussion on that?
I would just move to accept it. It's
Okay.
just one word change.
I wonder
Great.
question I had, should they notify both?
Could. I mean, it's probably,
Well, I know when I had my dog bite, I talked to the code official first, and then he talked to the health department, as well as referred me to the doctor's office, and then they also talked to the health department. So there's overlapping things in there to where they are notified when you speak to one or the other.
but yeah, I think, and I kind of agree. I think that probably everybody should be aware of that. That's probably not a bad thing. So instead of or, it would be and,
Right.
which I have no problems with.
Or just put or and or. You could put both in there if you want to.
Yeah.
But
If
yeah, I
you
think
want them to speak to both, you have to put and. If it doesn't matter whether they speak to both, you could put and or.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the word and. I think that the town ought to know and the county ought to know both.
Okay. I'm okay with that. How's everybody else feel about that?
Fine.
And or. You want and or you want them to speak to both?
I'd like to see tell both people.
Okay, so we'll say and. Okay. So it will read, shall within 24 hours thereafter notify these, and that's going to read Summers Summersville Code Official, and Nicholas County Health Department. That's how that's gonna read. Okay.
On that revised,
Hmm?
revised form, it doesn't say Summersville Code Official, it's just taken for granted.
No, just wrote it in.
Oh,
That's what it's gonna say,
okay.
okay?
Yep.
That's the correction that this body decided to go with. So I'm gonna say Summersville Code Official and Nicholas County Health Department.
Yeah.
So, I guess the motion would include with the correction of Summersville Code Official. Okay. And
Okay.
Nicholas County Health Department. Okay, good. I have a first on that. Got a second? Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and vote on that. Should I say all in favor? Say aye. Likewise, okay, good, like sign. Got it. Okay, next one is 1105.03. All factory housing, modular homes, manufactured homes, mobile homes, manufactured units, factory-built housing coming in the corporate limits of the city must first obtain a building permit from the city recorder before locating said units in the city corporate limits. Certainly this, in my opinion, should not be the city recorder. I don't know what training they had back in the day, but our code official was certainly trained up and has schooled on this. So there again, I think if you flip the page, it should say, must first obtain a building permit from the code official. And again, I'm going to put Summersville Code Official and before locating said units in the city corporate limits.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Next one, 1113.03, under violations, notice property owner to pay cost of removal. In each case of violation of this article, the mayor may, upon giving not less than 5 days notice to the owner, occupant, or person in charge of the premises involved, cause such grass, weeds, and foreign growth to be cut and removed, and all expenses incurred by the city shall be chargeable to and paid by the owner of such property. Again, this should be the Summersville Code Official. And on the next page, we'll see that correction. Certainly don't want the mayor having to deal with tall grass. Okay, do I have a motion
Make a motion.
to approve? Thank you.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. On the next one, we have 1329.02, Zoning Commission. As I look through a lot of the ordinances, it's interesting as I read through these all the time, and sometimes we're referred to as P&Z, sometimes we're referred to as Planning Commission, sometimes we're referred to as a lot of different things. Then you start flipping into the Summersville Board of Zoning and Appeals, and before you know it, it gets a little confusing. I would like to change in this one particularly, but in others, anything that we find. So this tonight that we're voting on is just this particular one, but if I would love to see that always get to Summersville Planning and Zoning Commission. I think it should be known as that in all ordinances in the city of Summersville. So there's no confusion as to, do I see the zoning, do I see the planning committee, I mean, who do I see? I would like to see this change to the Summersville Planning and Zoning Commission. So in here, that very first line, it says a municipal Planning and Zoning Commission, officially known as the Summersville Planning Commission, is hereby established and created to advise the city recorder of the administration of the provisions of this ordinance. So I just feel that that should read Summersville Planning and Zoning Commission. Okay, correction is on the other page. I feel that it's fine.
So moved.
Thank you. First and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, 525.05, that's tobacco usage restrictions. I didn't catch this at first, and I actually caught this in reading some notes that I had written when we were going through another project that we did earlier, which I know you all are aware of when we went through and did our future planning. And I had written this down, and I just went back and looked at it. And in our ordinance, it does say age of 18 years old, basically use of possession of tobacco or tobacco-derived products by person under the age of 18 years. I did call around and check, and everybody is 21. Our current places in town, it's 21 is the age. And then as I started looking into it, you know, I just think it's best to adopt the current state code, which is 525.05, to adopt that West Virginia Code 16-9A. I included it in there, and it basically is the state law.
When was this adopted by the city?
Which one? The one that we're currently doing right now? You know, it should say, and it doesn't on this one. I can look that up.
No, it's.
But it was, I don't know, it was probably 70s, I would think, 60s or 70s, probably 70s would be my guess. I have the book in there and it's an easy find, I'll let you know, but it was early. Isn't that amazing? And it's just never been caught, but I saw it, and really, we don't have anybody gonna challenge this right now because nobody is, I mean, they would get in big trouble if they were selling to 18-year-olds. So it's not an issue, except that I just think this is a good time to clean that up and just, let's adopt that state code. It's kind of like some of the things we did with side-by-sides and riding on the streets and things like that. There's no need for us to write those ordinances when they already have them at the state level. So, you know, we just need to adopt those laws.
Who's going to enforce this?
What's that? Nobody, except that there could be there could be somebody that says, well, the city ordinance says that I can buy at 18.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about the code in general.
Yeah,
You can't smoke a cigarette in a car with a 16-year-old in it.
yeah, exactly. I know.
Pretty soon they tell me I can't drink a beer in front
I
of
know. But really, the goal here was just to kind of correct what we had, and I think that's the easiest way is to adopt West Virginia Code 16-9A, and that's going to be the easiest route for us to go. And it's all in there. I went ahead and printed that off for you, so
And
you
it
can
covers
see
all
it.
the vaping ordinances too.
Yeah, it does.
This law.
It does. It addresses all of that, and it's kind of you're right, Craig, and I mean, I'm just handling the tobacco end right here, but, you know, it's grown a lot since this ordinance was written. I mean, they were just talking about tobacco. Now they've got a whole slew of new things. So I think it's just better to go ahead and adapt or to adopt the West Virginia Code 16-9A into our ordinances so that it's up to date. Any questions or comments on that? If you need some time to look at that, I'm good.
Well, again, my question is, who's going to enforce this? City police?
That would be a city police issue. I mean, if somebody got caught out on something like that, I would think. Wouldn't you, Craig? Do you think that? I mean, that's probably a city police. I mean,
In the city it would, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if you have,
yeah,
I mean, I guess if you have a bunch of kids hanging around, they're doing that, smoking, putting cigarettes out, they've got some teeth to go after that a little bit.
yes, yeah.
But I like the vaping thing. That's what's the bad problem.
That's the bad one. Yes.
And the THC's in it, and you can buy it. Some of this will let you go back on those stores and stuff too,
Yes.
in this code.
Yes. So I think it's kind of I mean, if you sat down with the health department, they would probably love us for addressing this and to do it.
On the way here, was in a text conversation over this, but not that they knew we were doing this, but,
Yeah.
because we tried to do it at a county level and we can't because we have no zoning laws.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. But it would help an officer if he's out and he's, you know, I guess, so the Summersville Police Department would handle inside the city limits. That's who would handle that ordinance. And certainly I'll sit down with Jay and just make sure. I mean, they're probably already going by 21, you know, knowing.
Yeah.
But if somebody were to push that and see that we have in our ordinance 18, I don't know that that would override a state law, but, you know, at least it's clean and it said it would be in the ordinance with the correct.
I think we should zone out Baker Street.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's something. Okay, any,
I'll make that motion.
any more comments? No more hearing no more comments. I have a motion on the floor to accept that.
And adopt the state code, correct?
Absolutely.
Is that the whole thing?
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, got a first and a second?
So you want to basically adopt the state code and change it to 21 years with that motion?
That the state code is 21.
Yeah, and the state code is 21.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna adopt the state code in on this. I say make 52505 the state code.
Yeah,
Basically, that's what we're doing.
right.
Okay. All right. I've got a first, I got a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign. And that handles that. Okay. Do you have anything else that you guys wish to discuss?
I got a question about the last meeting when we talked about the airport.
Yes.
And we were
I'm
going to
going-
invite someone to come to the meeting.
So our next meeting, I want to plan that this evening and figure out what day you want to have that. And then I'm going to invite the airport authority here.
Okay.
And I want to dedicate a whole meeting to them, because I think it could take some discussion, but I basically would like to hear from them what they would like for that to say. I'm totally in agreement. And Craig, what that was, they want to be a part of the comprehensive plan, which they were left out. It wasn't anything intentional, but as you remember, back when we were putting that thing together, it was a little unclear as to what was going to happen with the airport and with the, help me here, out there where they are. Yeah, out at the campground, but what they were going to do with that. They were ending or getting close to the end of their, basically, for lack of a better term, contract or lease.
Actually, it weren't that close, it just, you have to have a 25-year lease to get certain FAA funding.
Okay,
The airport was down to 19 years,
okay.
and the Corps says we're not gonna renew it.
Mhm.
19 years is up, it's gonna become part of the campground.
Okay.
So a bunch of people got involved and fought it, and we're still fighting it, and we're down to 6 words to get the new lease. Literally, they're fighting over
6 words?
you know.
Well, at least you're down to 6
And
words.
it's taken 2 years to get
Yeah,
down to 6
absolutely.
words. And now it's the FAA fighting the Corps,
Yeah.
because the FAA wants these words and the Corps don't want to put those words in. So,
Well, I was blown away by some things that Chuck said in our meeting. And it was amazing some of the work that's happening up there and some of the things that's
we went
accomplished.
from about 25 operations a month to about 250.
Yes. So it should be in our comprehensive plan. There's no doubt it should be in there. And I want to see it, but I would like them to help and assist us in writing that as far as what they would like to see in there. Because obviously they know more about that operation than I do. It'd be wrong for me to sit there and write something not knowing that operation as well as they do. So I'm going to call them. I'll call them tomorrow after I have a date and say, this is when we're going to meet, and the agenda is going to be the airport. clear idea as to what they want, and then we can work on it from there, but it needs to be done.
The big thing about it is you're fighting the Corps.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's absolutely impossible. You don't fight them, you just listen to what they have to say and just hope it's not, too bad.
We do know about that. I mean, when you start trying to change the levels of the water, the winter pool and things of that nature, I mean, that's been an issue for years and years and years. And so, yeah, it's not an easy deal. And there's some people that have spent a lot of time on this.
The best way to describe it is, and I told the Corps when we sat down for a meeting one day, I said, I have a brother that's a colonel in the Army, and he could take over the world if his manual spelled it out for him.
Yeah.
And that's their problem. They have a manual to go by. And everything you ask them, they go back to the rules and regs, and they don't waver from it.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. I told him, I said, if you just change your manual,
Yeah.
we'd all get along.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Well, I say big kudos to everybody on that committee. I mean, Chuck Shaw's on there. I know the commission has had a really big play in that. I know our mayor has had a play in that from the outside in on that too. Mr. Rose, and who else is on that?
There's me and Chuck and Jerry Rader,
Jerry Rader.
Rodney,
Mhm.
Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
And then we're trying to incorporate Fayette County in a little bit too.
Okay.
So whatever we got to include, we're going to, because we're getting a lot of traffic at that airport going to Fayette County. I mean, literally, out there one night, a guy I thought he was going to put his plane, up, and I was going to put it in the hangar for him. He said, oh no, we're flying back to Indiana. We just flew down here for lunch. And they literally flew down, got one of our cars, went to Fayetteville and ate, came back and flew to Indiana.
See, it's awesome.
And
That's awesome. So you think about how much it's improved just in the last 3 or 4 years on a comprehensive plan, a 10-year plan. Where is it going to be 6, 8 years from now? I mean, it could grow exponentially.
Well, and the money, the county put a lot of money in, the cities put a lot of money in. So, we really saw, and then we brought Charleston in, because we're kind of a sister to CRW anyway. Nicholas County was the one who formed the regional airport at CRW. So they came up and really gave us a lot of advice and worked with us for about 2 years.
Yeah. I was blown away by the amount of hangars that are rented.
We have 12 planes right now that are there all the time.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
so that's a big deal.
Yeah, and then a lot of jet fuel is being sold now, which is good.
The jet fuel is huge because
Yes.
the helicopters are coming in there and fueling up. We've got state helicopters, military helicopters, and they burn a lot of
They
fuel.
do, they do.
And so that's been a big plus. You don't make a lot of money off it because it's all competitive out there. But we keep our prices down below. Like if you go on, there's a flight program called ForeFlight, and it'll show you all the different places that sell fuel. And if it's green, that's a good price. If it's orange, that's an okay price. If it's red, don't just fly right by it. So we try to stay in the green, and you'd be shocked at how many people come by. I pulled in there one day to fuel my plane, and I had 3 planes behind me waiting to get in.
Wow,
So
wow. That's awesome. I'm thrilled to death. So certainly, I'm all about it, and I know this commission will be all about it. We just need information to form some kind of a statement on that comprehensive plan.
And we have some really big grants that we've applied for out there. There's probably about a little over $1 million worth of grants right now
Good.
to put in a new AWAS system, which is the weather advisory system. There used to be one there, and the FAA come and took it out when everything went down. And so CMI-2, which is the military thing, they want to utilize, biofuel and bring planes in temporarily and people that fly into the CMI to land there. The Young Life thing that was this weekend, there was one big donor that flew in a nice big plane. I mean, it was beautiful. And he flew in and got in one of the cars that was there for him and went out to the thing, come back and flew back out.
It's awesome. It is awesome. It's exciting. So I would like to dedicate the next meeting to that, and I think it'll almost be more like a work session And that'll give that committee time to formulate some things and gather some information. If you look at your calendars, I'd like to fit it in there sometime between those council meetings. So you're looking at, get to my calendar here. Okay, so council meetings are the 14th, 28th. I would think we could go November 4th, I believe. If everybody would be okay with that.
Works for me.
It would be the 4th if we want to stick to Mondays. Are Mondays good for you, Craig, with commission?
It's the only, last Monday of the month is always.
Okay. And that's our
always
city
having-
council meeting,
yeah.
so we're good there. So, and I mean, you'd be looking at the 4th, the council would meet on the 11th, so then it's either the 4th or the 18th.
And the thing of it is if you want to consider it, if you just want to make it like a working meeting,
Mhm.
we can just have it at the airport. We have a conference table, that's where we have our board meetings and things.
Mhm.
And then that way you could look around and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we could consider that. We could consider that for sure.
Why doesn't the city just buy us dinner? We'll meet out there and have dinner and walk around, and then we can,
Okay, I'll consider that too. That would probably have to come out of the
Little
recorder's
Caesar's
money.
Couple little Caesar pizzas.
maybe some of those
there
donors
you go.
would bring some food in.
Yeah, could we fly one of those donors? Yeah. All right. Any other comments?
What'd you decide on the 4th? Are you gonna talk to them first?
No, I think we should select the 4th, and then if it's not good for them, I'll reach back out to everybody and change it.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else? All right, I'm sorry I didn't keep you real long, but I have met my duties of keeping it inside of an hour. Okay? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Got a first?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Yo.
Thank you.